Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. My special guest has got a brand new album out, and he hails originally from New Hampshire, and now lives in Brooklyn, New York. Kind of an unusual place for country music, but you're going to understand why after we talk to him today. The new album, we're going to play some of the songs from that as well as his first release. And he is a great singer and songwriter. I'm very happy to have him on the show tonight. This is Zephaniah Ohora. Zeph, how you doing tonight?
Great, I'm doing great, Scott. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you on, and I've got to thank a gentleman who listens to my show. His name is David D'Souza, and he lives in Australia. He is responsible for turning me on to your music, and I just want to thank him tonight. So you got a big fan over in Australia.
Yeah, thanks, David. If you hear this recording, actually, he sent me some messages before online. We've chatted back and forth here and there. So shout out to Mr. D'Souza.
Man, that's fantastic. He's puts a lot of great videos on there. I was really happy that he turned me on to your music, and man, I'll tell you what, you are not only a terrific singer, but you're a great songwriter. And before we get into your music, tell me a little bit of your background and how you came to love country music, being from the New York area.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, I think I've just always been a music lover and something that I always felt really drawn to and felt like it was something I was going to be doing with my life. But then I got a little sidetracked with self-doubt. But I was always collecting records. I've been a long-time record collector, so naturally if you're searching out the best records and the best music out there, you're going to eventually come upon classic traditional country music, and that's kind of how I started. And I didn't grow up with it. You know, it wasn't as much of a cultural thing in New Hampshire as it might be in some place like Texas or Tennessee. So,
wow, that's really cool. What are some of your favorite records that you found?
oh man, there's just so many out there. It's really it's really tough to narrow it down. I mean, I've collected. I have just about every Marty Robbins record, probably just about every Merle Haggard record, every Ray Price record. I've got a lot of the George Jones records. But I'd say the first one that really hit me upside the head would be the Byrds' "Sweetheart of the Rodeo," which I guess has been a way entrance point for a lot of people. But when I first moved to New York, probably the first week or two that I lived here, I went on a date at this gallery show, and I went back to this girl's place, and she played me this record, and it just completely just blew my mind. I said, "Who is this?" And she's like, "This is the Byrds." I'm like, "The Byrds? What?" And that was it for me. It kind of sent me down the rabbit hole from there as far as really searching out country music.
Yeah, that's a great starting point. That is a classic album, no doubt about that. And I think anybody that's worth their salt is going to have that in their collection, you know.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think Neil Young and Bob Dylan is kind of really the first places I heard like pedal steel and things like that. And I didn't know. I thought it was a guitar, and then I look at the liner notes and say, "Oh, pedal steel, what the heck is that?" So, I guess they get the real credit for that. But yeah, the "Sweetheart of the Rodeo" is like a realized, like a bunch of sort of hipster guys for their time, playing country music. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So when did you first start recording?
I started recording, I guess, all the way back in maybe high school and the junior high, somewhere around there. But eventually, towards the end of high school, right when I got out of high school, I got like a 16-track digital recorder, which were kind of popular at that time period, and it was a 16 gigabyte. It was a Yamaha 16G recorder, which it was, wow, 16 gigabytes of space. I could record so many songs with that, which is funny because now my iPhone has probably 5 times that much space on it, but I still have it too. But it had like a CDR, disc drive in it, so you could burn whatever you recorded right to a CD. I saved up a bunch of my money, and it was like $1,000. It was the most I'd ever spent on anything in my life, and so it's really kind of started getting more serious about recording stuff. But I didn't really record professionally till once I got involved in the scene here in Brooklyn. So It was mostly just bedroom recordings, so up till that point.
So tell me a little bit about the music scene where you are. Are there quite a few venues that where you can perform your type of music? Is it well received?
Yeah, I think so. First time I ever really saw someone playing kind of like music in New York was this guy, Smokey Hormel, who's like a pretty legendary guitar player who played on like Beck's recordings, and he's like been one of the most in request like session guys for like a really long time. And he had sort of this like project called Smokey's Roundup, and he played in this little bar called Sonny's in Red Hook, Brooklyn, which is really far south in Brooklyn, and kind of supposedly rumored where like the mob owns sections of it still, and that's where they like get rid of people. You know, like that's because there's no one out there. It's like it looks like a mob film there, where they're like taking some guy out to a warehouse or throw him in the river or whatever. But it's got a lot of character over there. So it's a little tiny bar that's been there for over 100 years, and so he played there every Wednesday night, and so that was the first time I saw that, and so that was a great place. And then I started to kind of discover more places like that hosted that type of music, one night a week or something.
That's
and then
great.
eventually I started working for this bar called Skinny Dennis that opened up. Right when they opened up, I started booking music. So then I discovered more of the sort of country music roots community in New York that was pretty thriving at that point in 2013 when they opened. So.
Well, that's great, man. I love places like that, no doubt about it. And
Yeah.
ZephaniahOhora.com is the website. We will have that information on our Facebook page. And a very interesting name. How did you get the name Zephaniah?
My parents, I grew up in kind of a religious home. It was, I feel, trendier in the 80s when I was growing up. So I got the biblical name, and the rest of my siblings also got similar biblical names, and they're all Z's.
Oh, that's very unusual.
So, it's I've yet to meet another Zephaniah that's their legal name. I've maybe seen people on social media that have added me as a friend, or I always meet someone that say, I have a friend named Zeph. Really? I've never met a Zeph in my entire life. I almost don't believe you, but they're out there somewhere, but I'm the only one that I've met. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about your first album. It's called This Highway, and I know you wrote some of the songs on there, and there's some covers on there, but tell me a little bit about that first project.
The first project was kind of, I was working for Skinny Dennis, like I said. I was hosting a night playing records, actually, just playing all traditional country records like, Ernest Tubb stuff, and Bob Wills, and Ray Price, and George Jones, and all that classic era, golden era stuff. So I sort of wanted to have a band there, host them as sort of an intermission from people listening to me play records. And so I found this band, Honey Fingers, which a friend of mine told me about, and it turns out they were really incredible players, and all, schooled musicians and jazz musicians, and just really phenomenal guys. And they were playing with this guy, Jim Campolongo, and Jim Campolongo had been doing a residency in New York for a long time, and he's kind of his own cult guitar player figure in his world. So I became friendly with Jim, and then he's also an avid record collector, and he's got this pretty big country music collection, and specifically in like private country, which is like sort of a subgenre. So we got to talking, and then said, hey, let's just start a band playing these old songs just for fun, and then I was writing songs, so I'd show him a song here and there, and then we incorporate that into the set list. And then eventually I had enough songs, and he said, hey, we should record a record. So I said, all right, let's do it. And that's kind of how I got into family.
Oh, that's great.
Sort of through the back door. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into, but it's been fun doing it.
Great songs on that. One of the standouts to me was "I Can't Let Go, Even Though I Set You Free." I think that's a fabulous song.
Oh, nice, thank you. I kind of stopped performing that song because it's like a murder ballad or what have you. So some people got a little upset about it, or it seems, But to me, I heard of all of those old recordings. Like Porter Wagner did a bunch of stuff like that. It was sort of a tip of the hat of a traditional sort of murder ballad. It's not supposed to be encouraging anything like that.
Oh, certainly.
But it's a good song.
Yeah, there's a rich history, in country music. The Louvin brothers did a lot of songs like that, and I mean, it is what it is, but it's really, they kind of grab you. I just don't know how to explain it, but it's that song just really stood out to me on that project. I thought it was great.
Right on. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, your new album is released on Last Roundup Records, and man, I'll tell you what, Listening to the Music is the name of it, and you got some great songs on here. Tell me a little bit about the song selection process for this project.
Well, my first record, had sort of like a mid-tempo kind of vibe of like everything kind of sounds in a similar tempo and in space, which is cool, which is what a lot of things that I like about that record. But I just was challenging myself as a songwriter to write, different types of songs and different feels, and really kind of push myself to expand my sound a little bit. So that's what I did on this record. So I tried to find the most variety I could out of all the songs I'd written over the several years between my first record. My first record was finished being recorded well before it was released. So, quite a bit of time had gone by. So I had quite a pile of tunes that I sorted through and just kind of picked the best ones, the ones that I felt most passionate about in the moment. And those are the songs that got recorded.
Fantastic. Tell me about the song Heaven's on the Way.
That was just a tune that I wrote. It's one of those, sometimes you spend weeks or months or days or hours or years on a song, and then sometimes it just all kind of comes in a burst, and it almost feels like it's already existed somewhere, and you can't really write it down fast enough. So that one was the latter, where it was, it just kind of came to me in a flash, and I just wrote it down, and we kind of incorporated actually a lot of the kind of the birds feel with like the drum feel and a couple different things. I kind of just pieced together what I really love about certain recordings that I love and just kind of mix them all together. And that's kind of how that came out with the B-bender. People think it's pedal steel, the intro there, but it's actually a B-bender Telecaster guitar that my friend John Lee Shannon plays.
Oh, nice. That's a great song. I really like that one. Riding That Train is another one. It's kind of a swing tune, and then You Make It Easy to Love Again too. That's probably my favorite song on the project.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was that actually Neil Casal, who produced it, that was one of his favorites, if not his favorite. That was one of his top ones. He was like always pushing me to put it earlier in the track sequence. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, I don't want it to be too late. It's such a good song, but it ended up where it ended up. But yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one for sure. Now, you've got a couple pretty famous musicians that are playing on this project too, right?
Yeah, Neil, he knew a lot of people in his life and made connections with just about anyone you can think of, almost, really, in the country and jam world and the rock world. So he knew a lot of people. So when I was thinking like he's a harmonica player on this one recording, he said, hey, why don't we call it Mickey Raphael? I said, Mickey Raphael, really? And he's like, yeah, let me give him a call and see if he's into it. And he was, and that was cool, and made that connection with him. And then also the pedal steel player for Merle Haggard for just about Merle's almost his entire career, except for the very early days. He had a different pedal steel player, but Norman Hamlet played dobro. Actually, he also played dobro on Merle recordings. And my friend Mario Carboni, who's a great musician and piano player out on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Connected me with him.
I know Mario well.
Heard of him before.
Yeah, I know him well.
Cool.
Yeah, he's been on my show a couple times, and we play his music a lot, and I stay in touch. He's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he and I had struck up a friendship just musically. When he would be on tour, he'd play at Skinny Dennis when I could get him out there. And the second time he came around, he said, "Hey, I'm doing this tour with Norm. Think you'd want to play a show with him?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? Of course I would." So we set that up and just played this band that I had. We just played a whole night of Merle Haggard tunes with Norm on steel, and then I talked with Norm for a long time afterwards and made him sign a bunch of my records, not my records, but Merle Haggard records, and so I kind of made that connection with him, and then I was talking with Mario about the sessions, and then ended up sending him a tune, and then he said maybe Norm will want to play on it, and he did. So that's kind of how that came about.
Wow, which songs is he playing on?
He plays on that song, "Time Won't Take Its Time." It's the last song on the record, and he plays dobro on that. And because I already had John Graboff on pedal steel, who's a legend in his own right. So, he's been like my go-to steel guy. So I said, "Hey, we need some dobro, so let's get Norm to do that." So that was cool.
That is so cool. Norm is a hero of mine. I've known him since I was a little kid, and
cool.
got to spend a lot of time with him. And I know he and Mario were doing a lot of shows together. In fact, I've got one of their hats. It says "The Stranger and the Rebel, the Bakersfield Sound" on it.
Oh, awesome. I need to get myself one of those.
Yeah, I'll have to hook you up, man. I love that thing. And, man, Norm is just fabulous. That is really cool. I tip my hat to you for that. I think that is just awesome. There's a song that it's listed as a B-side single, but I wanted to ask you about it because I think it's a powerful song, and it's called "Don't Have That Last Drink."
Yeah. Yeah, that's I've known... spent a lot of my life in bars and places where people struggle with addiction and have issues with that kind of thing. So it's someone that I knew that I had dated years ago, and sort of you have the people in your life that they pop in and out of your life or what have you. So and then the last time I saw this person, that I'd noticed that something had changed. We went out for drinks, but it became more than just drinks, and it was kind of an eye-opening experience. So, I decided to write about it. That sort of, I've never really been in a serious relationship with someone that had a serious addiction problem. That it was kind of like it wasn't compatible, but I just kind of put it in that context, and I feel that a lot of people can actually relate to that personal experience.
Yeah. Powerful song. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Thanks.
Well, folks, ZephaniahOhora.com is the website, and the album is called "Listening to the Music," and you can get that there, and of course all the regular streaming platforms as well. And I encourage you to pick up his music. We're going to play some of it for you tonight, and we'll put all those links on our Facebook page for My Kind of Country as well. Zeph, I know that with the crazy times going on right now, there's not a lot of live performing and things like that going on, but looking forward into the next year, what are your future plans?
I don't know. I'm really just playing it by ear, who knows what's going to happen even next week. So I'm just I don't have any major plans. I may do. I just cut a tune for Neil Cassell, who produced the record. He passed away in 2019. There's a tribute record coming out of all of his music, and it's a bunch of people playing his music. And it's a lot of pretty famous people and a lot of other people that are in my peers. And so I cut a tune at this studio in Long Island City in New York and Queens. And it's a really great studio, and they actually have a really nice setup for live streaming, and they're doing that. And so I've not really been to the live streaming thing because I just don't really want to just do something from my apartment. It's just, for me, I'd rather be a little bit more better production value than that. So I may put something together with them in maybe after the holidays, or it kind of seems like a crazy time to pull that off right now.
Yeah.
I'm traveling to visit some family and stuff, but And who knows, maybe the lockdown will happen further. But hopefully sometime early next year, it would be cool to get in there and perform some of the record with the guys that were on the record.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that's kind of a loose plan I have, and they shoot it. It looks great in there, and they have cameras and all that stuff, so it just looks really nice. And so hopefully I can get that together.
Awesome. We'll look forward to that. Folks, again, please go to ZephaniahOhora.com and check out Zeph's great music, and we're going to play some of that for you right now. And Zeph, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be on the show, and if there's ever any records you're looking for, let me know, man. I'm a big record collector too, and I love sharing that with people. So
yeah, I missed Record Store Day. I was traveling to visit my mother, so I didn't get to hit the stores, but I guess I hit the Black Friday one that's coming up. But yeah, I'll definitely be sure to hit you up. There's always something I'm looking for. So
yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Well, man, thanks so much for taking time to be on the show tonight. I really want to thank you, and man, you got some great music, and I'm really looking forward to playing it for my listeners.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me, and I'd love to come back anytime.
All right, here's some of Zeph's great music as we continue with My Kind of Country.
We've got a million reasons to see this through. You make it easy to love again. You're what I'm living for today. You make it easy to love again and again. Is here to stay. They say the flame of love burns for a time, though we've never been as certain or in line. We tried our luck with other love before, and now it's easier to love life more and more. You make it easy to love again. What I'm living for today. You that last drink because I still love you. I can't stand to see you leave me one more time. We had a love so sweet before you turned to wine. So I'm begging of you, darling, one last time tonight. Without you, my world would have no meaning. And most nights I wonder if that means anything to you. But starting new, 'cause we've had a few good years between us. Don't have that last drink because I still love you. I know drinking took a toll on your mind, but yesterday you taught me love, the real kind. So tonight I'll pray the good Lord will come through. Don't have that last drink because I still love you. We had a love so sweet before you turned to wine. Don't have that last drink because I still love you. Turning to 40, another year has come and gone. I made plans to do big things. I resolved to finally right the wrong. I had dreams of a good life, maybe even find me a wife. Travel with me though I'm single and free. This time won't take its time with me. I got on that A train this morning, probably take the bus home later. Been wasting away at this old job just to get a little food on my plate. And one last stop at the liquor store before I tuck my blues in tonight. Trouble, my friend, is I'm at a dead end, and time won't take its time with me. Sure is an awful kind of feeling when your bank account is always low. But I don't plan to start out stealing, so I earn a few lines in my brow. I ain't getting any younger, and I'm seeing family less and less. Trouble in mind and the world is unkind, and time won't take its time with me. Sure is an awful kind of feeling when your bank account is always low. I don't plan to start out stealing, so I earn a few lines on my brow. I ain't getting any younger, I'm seeing family less and less. Trouble in mind and the world is unkind, and time won't take its time with me. Hey, yodelay, hey, lay, hey, lay. Listening to the radio, alone in my room, thinking back on yesterday. An old-time country song comes on, and I forget my troubles listening to the music once again. One time back in '89, on a Sunday in early autumn, hit me with that old-time hymn. Sent a shiver down my spine, and then I felt the great divine listening to the music once again. Let the singer sing a song, and a guitar play the chord, and I'm right where I belong, in the glory of the song. Living in times of war and evil that plagues the earth, it's hard to find anything of worth. And in my moments of despair, I find something there, listening to the music once again. Let the singer sing a song, and the guitar play the chord, and I'm right where I belong, in the glory of the song. Let the singer sing a song, and the guitar play the chord, and I'm right where I belong, in the glory of the song. Oh, and I'm right where I belong, in the glory of the song.